If you have Parkinson's, chances are your doctor has you on a medication that helps you to manage your symptoms. But what about nutrition? Does diet matter? Of course it does. And guess what? It turns out that the same diet that's good for people with cardiovascular disease to keep your vessels healthy in your heart helps to keep your blood vessels in your brain healthy. What is that diet? Well, you've heard me say this a million times. It's mostly plant-based with a lower amount of saturated fat. Now, there is no specific diet for Parkinson's, but there are 3 aspects of diet that have shown to have some promise. And the first one of those is the timing of the protein that you eat, because the protein interferes with L-dopa, and L-dopa is the most widely used medication for people with Parkinson's. So you want to have your medication an hour or half an hour before you eat your meals, or an hour or 2 after you eat your meals. And you may have already heard this from your doctor, but it's also helpful to lean more toward plant-based sources of protein because they move through the GI tract more quickly. So that could mean oatmeal with berries and nuts and seeds instead of an omelet with cheese in the morning. So one has 5 or 10 grams of protein, the other has 30 or 40. And we want to eat in blocks of protein of 5 or 10 grams. And then maybe at lunchtime, instead of a turkey sandwich, you want a sandwich with hummus and avocado and a slice of tomato and some basil and drizzled with olive oil. And maybe at nighttime, you save your higher protein meal like a piece of fish so that you can then have your medication after that. Number 2 is B vitamins, because we know that people with Parkinson's tend to have B vitamin deficiencies. And in particular, we want to pay attention to vitamin B12. And again, your doctor may already have you on a B12 supplement, but I just want to make sure that you are aware of the fact that when people are diagnosed with Parkinson's, if they have a lower level of B12, they're more likely to have dementia. So B12 helps to protect against dementia. And even though the normal levels for B12 are somewhere around 300 to 900, depending on the lab, you want to be up above 570. So people with Parkinson's don't want to be in the lower range of B12. They want to be in the upper range to protect them from dementia. Number 3, and this is my favorite recommendation because it's polyphenols. I love saying that word. It's all those fresh fruits and vegetables and grains and nuts and seeds and beans and legumes that contain these anti-inflammatory chemicals that are neuroprotective. They protect the brain. And so we really want to focus on those. Now, you'll see in the research cited below in the transcript that there are some recommendations for foods to avoid, which are foods high in saturated fat, the meats and the cheese, and particularly dairy is, some people do better without dairy. Now, it's true that more research needs to be done, and we want to, shift our diets. It's progress, not perfection, and to eat more of these kinds of foods and less of those other foods. Rather than a strict diet, we want to focus on a pattern of eating that's anti-inflammatory. Actually, what I suggest that you do is give this a 2-month trial, because people with Parkinson's often find that they have more energy and they have a better quality of life when they eat this way. And that is smart eating.